Okay, so you're ready to launch your nonprofit here in Ontario. Congrats. You've got the passion, the vision, the drive to make a real difference. But then uh, comes the legal stuff.
Yeah,
And one of the first big hurdles you'll face is deciding how to incorporate.
right.
Don't worry, we're diving deep into that today, helping you navigate the choice between incorporating provincially or federally.
That's right. It's a decision that can feel daunting at first, but it really boils down to setting the right legal structure for your organization's goals. And those goals are important. They're
Hmm.
what will attract funders, volunteers, and ultimately help you achieve your mission.
Exactly. It's not just about ticking boxes.
Yeah,
It's about strategy.
absolutely.
So let's start with what's probably top of mind for anyone starting a nonprofit,
Okay.
funding.
Sure.
I imagine being incorporated makes a big difference there.
It absolutely does. Think of it this way. When you're incorporated, you're not just an individual with a good idea. You're a legally recognized entity that gives you a level of credibility that's essential when approaching banks for loans or foundations for grants. In fact, many funders prefer working with incorporated organizations as it simplifies their due diligence process.
That makes a lot of sense. So aside from funding, what are some other immediate benefits someone might see from incorporating provincially in Ontario?
Well, one significant advantage is the potential for tax benefits. For example, a registered charity can issue official donation receipts, but it's much easier to get that charitable registration number if you're already incorporated.
Mm.
This makes a huge difference when you're fundraising.
Wow. I hadn't considered that connection between incorporation and charitable status. It's
Yeah.
like one step unlocks the next. But let's be real, starting a nonprofit can feel risky, especially financially. I bet limited liability protection is a big relief for many people.
It's probably one of the most significant advantages incorporating creates a legal separation between your personal assets and the organization's liabilities. So, in the unfortunate event that your nonprofit faces legal issues or debt, your personal belongings, like your home and savings, are generally protected.
That peace of mind must be invaluable for someone putting their heart and soul into their organization.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes it easier to attract dedicated board members and volunteers knowing they're not putting their personal finances at risk.
Exactly. And speaking of attracting the right people, incorporating also gives your organization a sense of permanence and legitimacy. It shows you're serious about making a long-term impact.
So Ontario Incorporation seems to offer a lot right off the bat.
Hmm.
What would lead someone to consider federal incorporation instead? When does that become a better option?
That's where your organization's vision for the future comes in if you're thinking about expanding your operations beyond Ontario. Federal incorporation offers some distinct advantages.
Okay.
For example, it provides nationwide name protection. Imagine building a strong brand in Ontario only to discover another organization across the country is using the same name.
Oh,
That could force a costly and time-consuming rebranding process.
that would be a nightmare, especially for a nonprofit where every dollar counts. So federal incorporation safeguards your brand as you grow. What other benefits come with that broader scope?
Well, while it's not a guarantee, some funders, especially those operating at a national level, might perceive federally incorporated nonprofits as having greater reach and influence.
Hmm.
It can also streamline the process of operating across Canada. A provincially incorporated nonprofit can technically work in other provinces, but it often involves registering as an extra provincial corporation in each one, adding administrative complexity.
Yeah, I can see how that would quickly become a headache if you're working across multiple provinces. So federal incorporation simplifies that expansion process. Now, we briefly touched on the topic of governance earlier. I know federal incorporation falls under the Canada Not-for-Profit Corporations Act, or CNCA for short. Can you break down how this framework might benefit a nonprofit?
The CNCA offers a more modern and flexible approach to governance, for instance. It provides greater flexibility in structuring your board of directors instead of a traditional board where members might be chosen based solely on their reputation or connections. You can create a skills-based board. This means recruiting individuals with specific expertise relevant to your organization's mission.
That's a great point. A skills-based board could be incredibly valuable, especially for nonprofits, tackling complex issues. It ensures you have the right people with the right knowledge to guide your organization effectively.
Yeah.
Are there other governance advantages within the CNCA framework?
Yes. It also offers more options for member engagement, allowing you to structure your organization in a way that gives members a voice in decision making. This can lead to a more inclusive and democratic approach to governance.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
It's about empowering the people who are passionate about your cause to actively shape the direction of the organization. Now, I know we've talked about the benefits, but I'm sure our listener is wondering about the practicalities. What are some of the key questions they should ask themselves when deciding between provincial and federal incorporation?
Absolutely. One of the first things to consider is your geographic scope. Are you focused on serving a specific community within Ontario, or do you have aspirations to work across Canada or even internationally that will significantly influence your choice?
So if you're planning to stay local, provincial incorporation might be sufficient, but if national or international work is on the horizon, federal incorporation offers more flexibility. What other factors should someone weigh?
It's also crucial to assess your administrative capacity. Do you have the staff or volunteer resources to handle the slightly more stringent reporting requirements that come with federal incorporation? For example, federally incorporated nonprofits must publicly disclose their financial statements. If you're a small team working with limited resources, that added administrative burden might be a challenge.
That's a great point. It's about choosing a structure that aligns with your current capacity, but also one that allows for growth as your organization evolves. What other considerations come into play?
Well, your long-term vision is key. Where do you see your organization in 5 or 10 years? If you anticipate significant growth or expansion, federal incorporation might provide a more solid foundation. Lastly, let's not forget about budget considerations. Provincial incorporation is generally less expensive upfront in terms of filing fees and legal costs.
So for a nonprofit, just starting out operating on a tight budget, provincial incorporation might be more financially feasible.
Hmm.
It's all about finding that sweet spot where your vision, resources, and long-term goals align now. I know we've talked a lot about choosing between provincial and federal incorporation, but I think it's important to reiterate that incorporating itself, regardless of the path you choose, is a significant step forward.
You're absolutely right. Incorporation brings numerous benefits, including limited liability protection, a separate legal identity, and perpetual existence, which means your organization can continue operating even if key individuals move on. These are crucial safeguards that provide stability and continuity.
It sounds like incorporating is a bit like building a house.
Yeah,
You need a strong foundation to support everything you want to create.
that's a great analogy. It's about setting your organization up for long-term stability and impact. And remember, choosing the right incorporation structure isn't about checking a box. It's about making a strategic decision that reflects your values and your commitment to your mission.
Right, it's about aligning your legal structure with your vision. Now, I know we've thrown a lot of information at our listener today. I imagine some might be feeling a bit overwhelmed. Any advice for navigating this decision-making process?
The key is to take it step by step. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do your research and, most importantly, seek expert advice. There are organizations like the Charity Law Group that specialize in nonprofit law and can guide you through the intricacies of incorporation. They can help you assess your specific needs, answer your questions, and ultimately choose the path that best suits your organization.
It's like having a trusted guide to help you navigate the legal terrain. And speaking of guides, before we wrap up, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listener who's embarking on this exciting journey of launching a nonprofit?
Starting a nonprofit is a remarkable endeavor. It's about channeling your passion and energy into creating positive change in the world. Remember that incorporating is just one step in that journey, but it's a vital one by choosing the right structure. You're laying the groundwork for a sustainable and impactful organization. So do your due diligence, trust your instincts, and don't be afraid to reach out for support.
That's inspiring advice. It's a reminder that while the legal aspects are important, the heart of a nonprofit lies in its mission and the people who drive it forward. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of nonprofit incorporation. We hope you found it informative and empowering.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listener, remember, every great journey begins with a single step. Take that step, embrace the challenge, and never lose sight of the impact you're striving to create. Until next time, keep diving deep.